And that's the goal. Well, the goal is that we will have a roof on this element. So I'm going to delete all these, and that's it. So first, you remember that we have to manage, make sure that the project units are, okay, in this case, we are working with inches. Okay, so here we are working with decimal inches. We are not working with decimal feet or feet and fractional inches. Why? Well, because the assignment or the classwork is in inches. It's not in feet. We don't have 1 foot and 5 inches or whatever. We have just 264 inches. Okay, it's just to try something different and to remind you of how we can change the units. Okay, so you have to go to project units, and here you have to type decimal, or to select decimal inches. And now if you go to one of the elevations, let's say east elevation, well, we have two levels, level 0 and level 120. We can see, okay, so we have two levels, and I have already done this, but look that we have level 0, and here we have 120. So if by any chance your levels are not 0 and 120, you know that by clicking here, we can type the height of this level, 120. Okay. So we need two levels, 0 and level 120. You can find where your elevations are. Okay, Abby, can you please share your screen? I'm going to, because this is a relevant question and I need to find out what's going on. So I'm going
Okay.
to, uh, can you share the screen?
It says host disabled. Oh wait, hold on.
Okay, now you can.
Mm. It says it's still disabled. I'm actually
No,
zooming from my phone and my laptop, so I think you might have done the wrong one.
but you can do it now. So you are the co-host now.
I am?
Yes, you are.
Oh, I don't. Are you sure? I think it's
I'm positive. Yes, you are.
Hmm, can you see my screen?
No, I can't.
It says host disabled on my laptop.
On your laptop, but are you watching the lesson with the same laptop you are working with, or do you have two laptops?
Uh, I have, yeah, actually, because I'm trying to like watch your screen and also work on mine. So I can leave the other one
Oh,
if you want.
well, I would like to see your screen because there's a common issue. Sometimes elevations don't appear, and it's because the Revit initial configuration, it's a mess. So if that happens, it's better that I send you a file and then you open that file with your Revit, your computer. But I
Okay,
need
let
to
me
see
just
what you
leave.
are doing. Okay.
Okay. You share the screen with my, here, hold on. Okay, I left the one on my phone, so
Okay. So now I can give you, yep. Try now.
okay, there we go.
Okay, great. Okay, so on level 1, on views, yeah, I see what's going on. Okay, so can you click on view? And now
Oh,
you see that you have elevations. So click there
yeah.
and
Okay.
you can, yeah, you can create an elevation, but it doesn't make any sense. So is anyone else having this issue? No? Okay. When that happens, it's because, I don't know, you have downloaded Revit from, or do you have the student version, or where did you get this Revit?
I got it from I'm doing like the what's it called? The one that you sent us the link to, because I have a Mac.
Oh, so you have a Mac. Yes. So,
Yeah.
well, I'm not going to open my, well, Mac doesn't work with Revit. So let
Yeah.
me share my screen again. Okay. Um, Abby, I think, oh, um, Abby, I think you are the host now, and I don't have permission to share my screen. So can you please click on my name and make me host?
Yes, I can try. Sorry. Mm. Oh.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
So I'm going to save this because this is an empty file. So file, save as project, and Spring 220 classwork. Okay, so I'm going to save this file, classwork one. I'm going to post it on Canvas in files, section 2. Okay, can you open this file, and can you try to open this file on your computer and let me know if you find the levels and all that stuff, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Anyway, we have levels on the east elevation. We have 0, we have level 120. And first, we can open level 1. Here we have the 3D view, the east elevation, and level 1. So if everything works well, you will see those elements, those icons. Those are the elevations, okay? If they don't show up at the beginning, it's because you are either using Mac or I don't know, but probably the Mac version, you have to create your elevations from scratch. You can do that, but you will lose a lot of time. So it's better if you can open this file, and the elevations will be here. As I told you, if we create a wall, if we create the wall here, this is north, south, east, and west. And if we open the south elevation, we don't see the wall because the wall is behind the elevation. So you have to make sure that everything that we draw are within this element here. So when we look at the south elevation, the wall is there. Okay. So if you start drawing out of these elements, the things won't show up on the elevations, and you can make this as big as you want. Okay, so there is no limit to do this. But make sure that everything we draw is within those elevations. Okay, so first, there are two ways to approach this. We can either look at the dimensions here. So look at this. This wall, it's 264, and this is 132. Okay, so imagine that we are doing this wall, and that wall, 132 and 264. Can we do that? We can go to wall, and this is 132, wall 132, and 264. Be careful because we don't want a tilted wall. So delete wall, click here, 264. Okay, but even doing this, we can have trouble because what is the dimension? We need to be aware that dimension is the external dimension. So here we have external dimensions. We don't have middle dimensions. So if we go to annotate, aligned dimension, we can select this face. Well, here we have wall face, or we can have a center of core. If we have center, the dimensions is here. But since we are using wall faces, so this is it. So if we click here and we click there, the wall face, this is 270. And it has to be 264. Well, that is happening because we are taking, when we are drawing walls, the dimension we are taking is probably centered. Okay, so even if we type the correct dimension, we have to check. And if this is not what we want, well, that's something interesting. We can edit the dimensions anytime, okay? But you don't edit the dimension clicking on the dimension. So you cannot type here other number other than 270. You have to click on this wall, and now you can edit this. And the 264, you see that it's from this center to that center. So we want to edit the 270, and here we can type 264. And now the distance between the center and that face is 258. It's not 264. Okay, but you see, be careful and don't worry if the dimension is not accurate, because you can always edit it. Okay, so but you have to make sure that if the external face is 264, we are working with this. Can we fix that? Yeah, look at this location line. It's a finish face interior. What if we click on finish face exterior? We can type here 132, and we can type here 264. 264. And now we can check. If we go to annotate, aligned, it's still 270. Why? Well, with this option, it should be, but anyway, I don't mind. Select this, make sure that this is 264, and there you go. So this is 264. Okay, we have to check. Don't go crazy, because we can always edit the dimension, but be careful, because otherwise we will have trouble doing this. And if you decide to continue the wall here, now this dimension is not aligned to the wall face. So now it's 258. But if we do this, it's still 264. Okay. So Abby, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
And did you manage to open this file? Is it working now?
No, I wasn't able to because I don't have the Revit like app on my laptop, and that's what it's
Oh,
like trying to open, even though I'm using it through like the website that you gave me. So yeah.
Okay, we will talk about this later. Watch lesson, and then we will see what's going on. Okay, so please make sure that the dimensions are accurate. And if you have trouble doing this, don't lose a lot of time, because we can always select this and I mean select the wall, and we can edit this dimension. Okay, so this is 264, and if we look at this, this should be 132. And then here we have an opening of 36. Okay, this is 132, and then we have an opening of 36. There are different ways to do this. So first, we can check this dimension here. Okay, so this is 149. How can we change that? By selecting this wall, then you can edit this dimension. So it should be 132. Okay, so now it's 132, 264. So that works. What if now we want this opening, this 36? If you continue the wall here, and if you type 36, what's this? Why do we have this? Why? Because here probably this wall, when we're drawing walls, this is finish face exterior, and by doing this, we are selecting the exterior face. So if we want to continue, we have to select this line, okay? Because we have drawn this wall as a centered wall, and now we have selected the finish face exterior. So that's why this is not working well. If we select wall, and this is centered, core center line, now if we click here, we continue the wall here. The problem is that if we type 36 now, you see there is not, well, there's a 36 wall, but it's difficult to, okay, so we have 36, let's see what happens. And now we have this wall 132 again. And then we go rightwards. So we can select wall 132, and then we go this way. So now we can't differentiate the 136 thing. We can always do this. And if we want to make sure that this wall is at 36 inches from this one, you can always use this model line. Okay, so this is useful because model lines are auxiliary lines. So it's something that you will end up deleting, or it's not there, it's not a wall itself, but it can help you do this. So if you want to measure 36 here, so you can type 36. Okay, and now you know that you can go up to this point, and now the distance between this wall and this wall is 36. If we go to annotate, align, that will be 36. And if you don't need this auxiliary line anymore, you can delete it. Okay. So now we have 132. We have to check, align. Okay, this is 138. So how can we fix it? We can select this, and this has to be 132. What happens? Okay, now it's 132, 36, and 132. Okay, so let's continue. Now we have an interior measurement here. It's the 72. Okay, and there is something that we haven't talked about. Is the thickness of the wall. Okay, so what is the thickness of the wall? Well, we can figure it out, but I think as we have here this element, this is 12 by 12, so the wall is 12-inch thick. What is the thickness of our wall? So you can type here, and here we have a basic wall, a generic 12-inch. I don't know, in this, I have opened this, and by default, I have this wall, this 12-inch wall. But what if you have an 8-inch wall? Then the measurements are different. So this is not 132, this is 128. Okay. So before doing anything, we have to make sure that the wall is the right, the thickness of the wall is the right one. So in this case, our wall is 12-inch thick. So first check that this generic wall you are working with is a 12-inch wall. Okay, because otherwise, if you change the thickness, then dimensions will. Okay, are you following this? Any of you are, or are you working with your Revit file? Are you watching the lesson? Let me know. Some of you are working with a Revit file.
I'm bouncing over occasionally to work on it, but I don't have
Mhm.
two screens, so I'm watching this more than working on
Okay,
it.
so let's watch, but make sure that after the lesson, or even I will finalize this in 45 minutes. So make sure that for 20 minutes you work on this and let me know if you have any issues. This is the first day you are doing something with dimensions or accurately, and you might have any trouble. It's quite easy, but we'll see. Okay, so we have this. We have adjusted the thickness of the wall. So you can select here. As you can see, we have a lot of options. We are working with the generic, so we are not adding any material, but we have to abide by the thickness. What if your wall, or you don't have a 12-inch thick wall? It might happen. I don't know. Maybe if you open Revit for the first time, you have limited options here for the walls. We can always create a new one. Okay, so you select this one. So imagine that we want to create a 15-inch wall. We don't have 15 inches. Okay, so select the wall, edit type. So we are going to create a new wall. So first we have to duplicate, and now you have to name the wall. If it's going to be 15 inches, you can type that name, 15 inches. You say okay, and then you have to edit the structure. The structure are different materials we have here. We have just a material, okay? And here we have the thickness. So you type here 15, click OK, click OK. And now in your menu, you have a generic 15-inch wall here. But again, dimensions have changed. So be careful with that. Okay, so we have to make this 12. And now dimensions are correct. Okay, so that's a wonderful tool that we have in Revit. We can create whatever wall we want. We can change the thickness, but it's very important that you duplicate this. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to make a mistake so that you find out. If you edit type and you don't duplicate, okay, we edit the structure, and let's say that, okay, let's make a 50-inch wall. Okay, apply. Okay, and now the rest of the walls have changed, which is terrible. And even worse, we click here and the name of our wall is generic 12. Okay, so be careful when you change a wall, make sure that you duplicate so that if you click here and you have a 12-inch wall, it's very important that this wall is 12 inches. Next, okay, we can continue. So this is 32. Okay, so here we have 84, and here we have this column 12. So if we decide to use the model lines, so you can type here 84, 84. Okay, and here we can either use a wall. So there are different things there are different ways to do this. If we are working with 12-inch walls, if we start here, it is okay. We are working with a center line wall, and it has to be 12. Okay, so this is 12. We always can use a line. Okay, so we can use this, and we align this. That's fine. This is a wall 12 by 12. So the wall is a 12-inch wall, and the length is 12 inches. So we have a 12 by 12 square. If we continue, we have 12 now, 72, and 180. So let's do it. Model line 72. And now with another wall, it's 180. And then we go upwards. There's an issue here. So we have to align because they are not aligned. So we click here, select the green line, align. And now this is it. But now we have to make sure that measurements are correct. So annotate, aligned. So this measurement should be 84. Is it correct? Yes, they should be 84. This should be 72, and this 180. So annotate. This should be 72, okay? And this should be 180. It's 186. So this is not working. So select this. And here you see how we have this 186, and this is 258. This is 186. Shall we change this? Probably. So let's make it 180. Okay, now it works. And now this is 108. And this is 108 as well. Okay, so let's do it. I'm going to use these model lines, but I'm going to do something different. Okay, so let's do this. And then this has to be 108. I can have this one. And I'm going to use copy. So I select this one, copy, and it has to be here. Okay, so now we are creating these reference lines or these auxiliary lines because I need to fix this point and this point. So I have 108 and 108. We can use, or you can click here and you can drag this directly here. That works. And now we make sure that this distance is 108. And okay, so this wall has to be extended here. So we can extend this wall here. And if we check dimensions, this is 180. This is 108. And this is 108. We check this with the model 180, 108, 108. Okay, it's working. And I think we can delete the auxiliary lines now. Okay. Yep, we are done with this. But now we have interior walls here. So first, we need a reference. So this is 60, 39, 36, 43, 5. I don't know what this 5 is. I think 5 is the width of this wall. Okay. So here we have this wall, which is a 12-inch wall. And then this one, it's a 5-inch wall. So we have two different walls here. But the first thing is that this is 60. Okay, the distance between this face and this face is 60. So we can work with a model line, and this is 60. And this wall starts here. Okay, so we have this 36 opening here, and then we go rightwards with 38, but this is a 5-inch wall. So let's do this. We need another model line, and this is 38. Okay, but we have to make this wall up to this line. But this wall is different, so we can select walls, and we are not working with a 12-inch wall anymore. So we need a 5-inch wall here. Do we have it? Yeah, we have this generic 5. If you don't have this generic 5, you know that we can work with the basic, edit type, duplicate. I can call this wall Fernando, so I named this wall after me, and this is 5 inches. And okay. So now I make sure that if I start here, oh, okay. Yeah, I named the wall after me, but I didn't change the thickness. Okay, so I have to select this. Now I can edit type. I don't have to duplicate because what I want is to change this wall. Okay, so the structure here, the thickness is 5. There you go. We can always move walls, okay, by clicking on this wall. If you have this symbol, that is the move, so we can always move walls. If you have constraints here, if you click here, that means that you can either go horizontally or vertically. If you remove constraint, you can place the wall wherever you feel like. Okay. Moving walls, I don't like it. It's not accurate. So I prefer align. Okay, so imagine that we have this wall in the middle of nowhere, and we need to adjust this wall to these auxiliary lines. So first, we can select align this face and this face, and then we can select align here and there, and finally this and this. Okay, so now we have a 5-inch wall, and this distance is 32. Are there other ways to do this? Yes, there are. We click here, we open wall, make sure that this is the Fernando's wall, 5-inch, and okay, but this has changed because now it's not, so we have to be careful with that, okay? Because now this distance, it's in this center line. Yep, so be careful. Okay, because we have to keep this distance 36, will it work if we use this Fernando's wall, but with exterior face? Let's find out. Yes, that works perfectly. But why is this 39 now? Because we are taking as a measurement the center line of this. Yeah, so we have to be careful with that. So we have to use annotate again. This is 36. And this is 132. And we can delete the auxiliary lines now. But we have to check if this is 38. Yeah, it's 38. We don't have a dimension here. If we don't have a dimension here for the opening, we can assume that this opening is the same as this one. So it's 36 as well. Okay. But don't take it for granted. So we have 60, 39, 36, and 43. So that was 60. This is 39. What else? 36 and 43. Okay. And well, now we can work with a wall. I'm going to use the align tool because I think it's more reliable. Okay, so we have this wall here, and now I use align here and here, here and there, and here and there. Okay, so I have this wall, and I make sure that this distance is 60, this distance is 39, and 36. So let's annotate. This is 60, 39, 36. And that should be 43, I think, yes. Okay, so now it works. I can get rid of all these. Oh, okay, I can't do this yet. So if, well, that's interesting. You see that if you get rid of this auxiliary line, as this dimension is connected to this auxiliary line, the dimension disappears. So don't do that yet. We will make it later. What can we do? Well, there are different things we can do here. Okay. So look at these two tiny icons. This is split element, and this is split with gap. Okay, so we can look at the video. So this is what we want to do. We want to split this wall in two. So let's select split with gap. And we can select this auxiliary line here, one, and this auxiliary line here, well, we don't need, because since we have a gap, then we can use the align tool here, here. No, we need another one, sorry. There you go. And we don't need this element here now. So delete, and now we have to align this one, and this is aligned. Okay, that's an option. We can use the split with gap. We can use the split without gap. And I think it would be easier because we click here, we click there, and now there should be 3 elements, and we can delete this one and it works. Okay. So now you have learned these two elements split with gap, but there's a third option. Okay, so this is the wall. We can work with a wall opening. Okay, so look at the video. We can, yeah, so we can open something. It's not a window, it's just a wall opening. So if we're doing this, we have created a wall opening. But, well, it's a very narrow opening, but it doesn't go from the floor to the top of the wall. It's just an opening. And what is the height of this opening? It's this, so it's not even the level. So be careful with that because it's not very accurate. Okay, so I'm not going to do this, but there are different ways to have openings in walls. At this point, I recommend you the split. Okay, so if you have these auxiliary lines, so we can always split this wall, and then we can delete the wall in the middle. And now on the 3D, we see that we have the same wall from the first level up to the top. Well, what's happening with levels? Okay, so we're not worried or concerned about levels, but you see that they are not matching this. What is the height? The height is 120. We have 120, and then we have this roof. So we will, yeah, the difference of levels will be 120. Finally, we will model the roof, and then we will adapt the walls to the roof. Let's do this. So first, if we select any of the walls, you see that the base is level 1 and the top is unconnected. So if we click here, level 2, this wall goes to level 2. We can do the same by selecting the wall and then dragging this down up to this. Or we can select all the walls here, and then at the same time we can connect them to level 2, and now all walls are connected to level 2. Okay, I recommend you go from a plan to 3D view, because if you have modeled thousands of walls without looking at the levels, it might be difficult to adjust all the walls to the same level, especially if we are working with different levels. Okay, so get used to working with a 3D view and then to the plan view, and switch from one view to another to see if what we are doing makes any sense or not. Okay, are we done with the model? No, because I think, yeah, we had this wall here. So we have to go down and then we have to connect these two walls. Let's go work to the level. Yeah, so from this point, we have to go down. But this is a 12-inch wall. So here we have another 5-inch wall. Okay, so this is a 12-inch. So we select architecture, wall. We have to select a different one, the 12-inch generic wall. Finish face, that makes sense. So start here. And okay, let's do this. And now how can we connect this wall to that one? If you see, we have to connect both. Well, we can use another tool, the trim or extend corner. You see the video? If we select that wall and that wall, we extend them. Okay, so we're going to select this, select this, select this, and they are extended. Watch the 3D. Yeah, because this wall has to be up to level 2. And finally, we have one wall more here, and we have an opening. We don't have any reference for this opening. Well, it's not a big issue, because if there is no reference, we assume that this opening it's in the middle, it's centered, and if we don't have any dimension, we assume that it's a 36-inch opening. Okay, so this has to be in the middle, and this opening has to be 36. And what is that distance? We don't know. Yeah, we don't know this distance between this point and that point. Well, but well, we can see that line that is okay. So we see that this wall is aligned to this one. Okay, at least we have this reference. Okay, let's do it. So from level 1, oh, so we don't have this wall yet. Okay, so we have to go upwards. Architecture, wall, 12 inches, select the exterior line, and there you go. Check the height. Level 2. Okay, and now we have to extend this in this direction. But now is the 5-inch wall. Where is here, Fernando? Finish face. We go here. We change this to level 2. And now we need the opening there. What can we do? Well, there are different ways to do this. Let's use the model line. You see that the snap will, so this is the midpoint. Okay, so we don't have to calculate the distance and then divide it by 2. So we have a midpoint here, and we will use this as a reference line. And we know that the opening is 36. So we can use this offset. Okay, so this is another tool. We can use offset. And here we have the offset. If the opening is 36, we have to type 18. And if you click here, you see this dashed line. So we click and the line goes that direction. But if we hover the mouse here, we know that the dashed line is upwards. So we click here. Okay. So now this is a 36 inch opening. What would you use? We can use the split again. So we split this, split this, and then we delete. There you go. So we can delete all these auxiliary lines. But if we delete the auxiliary lines, be careful, because now this dimension is aligned to the to this. Can we change? No, align doesn't work with dimensions. Okay, doesn't matter. So let's annotate aligned. And now we are sure that everything is correct. We have deleted all the lines. Okay, so let's check 38, 36, 43, 36, 39, 60. 43, 66, 39, 60. Yeah, it works. Okay, so we are done with the plan. Now have to work with the roof. So the roof, we have a slope, 5/12. We have overhang, 36. And we assume that this overhang is around the building. Okay. So let's do it. First, make sure that all walls are good, because we have level 0, level 1, level 2. And now if we open level 2, well, this is what should happen. If you open level 2, you can't edit this, because it goes, these walls are going from level 1 to level 2. So if you're above level 2, you shouldn't be able to edit those. We can adjust these parameters, but not today. So we need a roof. So the roof is a okay. So we have two slopes, this one and that one. We have this middle line. Okay, this is quite easy. First, we have to go to architecture, and then we have to select roof. We have roof by footprint, or we have roof by extrusion. Today we are going to work with the roof by footprint. Okay, so we only have to draw the footprint, and then it will create the roof. So let's do it. What can we do? We can use the boundary line, and we can use lines or rectangles. So let's start using lines. And you see we have here the offset. The offset should be this overhang of 36 inches. So we can type here 36. So that's useful, because even if we are clicking here, this corner, you see that we are creating this pink line. We have the offset, and the offset is 36. So we can click here, there, 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 and here, and now it's 36. So this offset is 36 everywhere. If we click OK, let's say don't attach, because this is not what I want. Okay, so this is not exactly what I want, because we have 4 slopes here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we want only 2. Okay, so there is no slope here. We need only two. We can edit is by editing the footprint of the roof. So we see that when we have this symbol, this triangle, that means that this line has a slope, this line has a slope. So we have 4 lines with a slope. We don't want a slope here and there. So we select this. I don't want to define a slope. Select this one. So I don't want to define slope here. And now these 2 lines have a slope. So we click. I don't want to attach. And this is it. So we have 2 slopes, but what about the slope itself? It has to be 5/12. If we select this, here we have the slope, you see, in this properties window. So now it's 9/12. It has to be 5. So we type here 5, and that's it. Okay, so finally, we have to attach the walls to the roof. I'm going to do the slope again. Okay, so let's work with level 2. Architecture, roof by footprint. We select boundary line. We select an overhang with 36. So we select the offset 36. Okay, there you go. Now we select this line and this line. We don't want to slope here. And if we click OK, we have this warning. Would you like to attach the highlighted walls to the roof? If you say attach, oh, they should have been attached, but they have not. Okay, so we will do it manually. Make sure that we change the slope, 5/12. And if we select the wall here now, we can attach top base. Okay, so look at the drawing. This is exactly what we want. We have a roof, we have a wall that doesn't get to the roof. We select this, we attach to top. So we have to select the roof, and now it is attached. If we select all these walls, we attach to top base, we select the roof, and all the walls are attached. Okay, so it's quite easy. You have to try to do it, but I want to show you different ways to do this. Especially, look at this. If we look at the model, so this opening doesn't get to the roof. So we have this horizontal line here. In our model, we don't have this. How can we solve it? Okay, let's try to do something different. So we have created this structure of this auxiliary line, and then this is a wall, and here we started a new wall. So when we interrupt the wall, this is what happens. So we don't have this horizontal line here. In this case, we want the horizontal line, so we have to try something different. Okay, so we can start by connecting these 2 walls, and now it's a wall. here, and we need an opening. And this opening is it's 100 inch. The height of this opening is 100 inch, and the width is 72. Okay, so how can we do that? We can go to level 1, and we know that there's an opening here. Okay, so we can insert a window, and in Windows we have an option. Okay, it's not here. Okay, much better, because we learned something new. There is an option for Windows. So we have this default Windows, but there's an option that we can insert an opening without glass or without a frame. How can we do that? We have to insert families, okay? Because by default, we have a few families, but we have thousands of families in Revit. If you're working with 2020, the families are, when you install the program, you have the families there. If you're working with 2021, I have found out this today. The families are not installed by default. So you have to open your Autodesk account. You have to type Autodesk Revit 2021 content. And here, this is the English, the United States. You have to download this. You have to download families, family templates, and libraries. Okay. If you are using 2021 and you are not able to do this, let me know, because I can send you the families you need. And so don't waste your time trying to download this. So if it doesn't work, let me know and I will send you the families that we're going to use, because I don't want you to waste your time just finding families that are by default in other Revit versions. Anyway, you can always load family, and we have all, okay, in the family in US Imperial. If you download these Imperial templates and libraries, so we have all these options. What are we looking for? We are looking for Windows. So you open Windows, and here you have all the windows that Revit has. 90% of them are horrendous. So we have to be careful with the Revit families. But at the end, okay, we have an opening. Okay, so we have a window square opening. So there is no frames, or there's no filthy frames and subframes and whatever. So it's just an opening. So we have to load this family on our drawing. So you can click open. And now we have window square. Well, window square, it's a rectangle, and this is 36 by 28. Again, what is the dimension of this one? It's 1 by 72. 100 by 72. We can edit type, we can duplicate. I can the name of this, it's Fernando. I like to name things after me. And this is 100 times 72. Okay, and now here we have the width and the height. So the width is 72, the height is 100. And this is the sill height. Well, the sill is the distance between the floor and the beginning of the opening. Since we want this opening to start from this level, the seal height will be 0. Okay, if we place the seal height 30, so the opening will start here at 30 inches from the floor, from that level. That we want to start from level 0. Okay, so this is 0. So we have an opening, the width 72, the height 100, the seal height is 0. So this is my opening now, and I can place it, where is it? Oh, it was here. Nice. And I don't like these dimensions. And we'll use annotate again. From this point to this point, this should be 12. This should be 72. It is. And now this dimension is 180. And if we look at the 3D level, yeah, this is what we wanted. Okay, so those openings are from this level to that level. That's fine. But this opening is different. So I have shown you how to work with different options for these openings. Okay, we are done with this. There are other ways to do that. If you're lazy and you don't want to go from the PDF and then to the Revit file and then open the PDF again and then go to the Revit file, well, there's an option. We can insert. Here we have all the files that we can insert. We can insert AutoCAD files, or we can insert pictures or PDF files. So this is a PDF file. So we are going to insert this. This is classwork 1, open. And there you go. So you can trace it, but I don't recommend you do this. You can trace things when dimensions are not important, but here the dimensions are important. And look at this, look at the scale. We don't know the scale of this. So this 264. So this is not 264. We can adjust the scale of this. I'll show you how to do it. And we need the reference lines as well, or auxiliary lines. So we can work with this. Okay, so we have this auxiliary line. And we can copy this here. We extend this. We extend that. And now we annotate a line. Okay, so this is not 264, this is 367. So we want this distance to be 264. We need another auxiliary line. And we can type 264. Okay, and now we can use scale. So there's here we have scale, this one. So we type scale, and it scales things. So it makes things bigger or smaller. Okay, so we type here. What do we want to scale? We want to scale this picture. We can select everything. Okay. And you click enter. But now we need to work with these reference lines. So we want, this is the first point, this is the second point, and the third point is the dimension that we really want. And now this is 264. now we can trace things that, I mean, this is a very simple model. We use this, we trace things when the models are extremely complicated. But when we have walls, perpendicular walls, I think this is more accurate than this. Okay, but that's so. The problem is that on level 2, we don't have this picture. You see, so we have this picture only on level 1. So if we want to insert that picture in level 2, we have to insert, load family, no, insert the PDF, the same PDF, and now it's here, and then we have to scale it again. Okay, so be careful with this, with inserting other files. It's useful, it might be useful, but even when it comes to accuracy, you see, it's not, we don't know if this is the right dimension. If accuracy is not important, that's fine. But if you want this to be accurate, you see that the Revit file, you can zoom in and it's always like intersection between two lines. If you are working with a PDF file, it's not as accurate. And on the 3D view, we don't have this either. Okay, so we can insert this, but it doesn't show up in other views. So it shows up only on the view in which we have inserted the file. Okay, I'm